if I could just pull a piece of paper out and be like, all right, Kiki, I got a brand deal for you that you're not currently working with right now.
Okay.
Who's the brand that you want to see on that piece of paper?
This is supposed to be a hard question?
Mystics Media Day continuing on the Team 980. Craig Hoffman with Kiki Iriafen, 4th overall pick in the 2025 WNBA draft. Kiki, great to see you. I feel like, you do the off-camera thing, and then you say the same stuff on camera, and like, I've said nice to meet you 3 times. She's lovely. It's great to meet her. We don't need to do that again.
He's lovely as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, unbeknownst to you, I talked to Lindsey Gottlieb a couple weeks ago.
Oh, gosh.
Don't worry. She had amazing things to say. Okay. And the thing that struck me about what I talked about with Lindsey that also struck me about you at the press conference, and really, frankly, even on draft night, was you are someone who has both style and substance. And that is in your game. And obviously, on the draft night, you have this beautiful dress, but it's also paying homage to your heritage. And I brought that up to Coach, and she was like, that is who she is. So I'm curious for you, living that experience, living that life, how much fun do you have leaning into, sometimes just being light and fun, sometimes, having those deeper conversations and the different dynamics that you get to experience with people? Good softball, easy question to start. Not deep at all.
Just super easy. Oh, no, I love it. I kind of talk with my teammates, and we joke that I have a bunch of different personas. Like, when I'm on the court, I can be stone cold, but then I can also be very joyous. But then off the court, I'm super bubbly. I have such a loving personality. But I kind of love mixing and matching depending on what the situation is. I can be very lighthearted and fun, but I could also be very intentional about what I'm talking about. But I think it's just all the places I've been. I went to Stanford, I went to a great high school, I went to USC, so a bunch of different areas that have helped shape me into this kind of shapeshifter, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's just something that I've kind of always been. I've always been someone that can kind of go with the flow of whatever situation I'm in.
Yeah, you could say shapeshifter. You also just say you have layers. It's you're dynamic. You have you hear that phrase, right? Like a dynamic personality. But I think the thing that also strikes me is the intentionality. And it's a little moment, but at the press conference, people start asking questions. There's this rhyme or rhythm of we've all been through this a million times before, and you just stop down and you're like, no, hi, hello, great to meet everybody. And I'm curious where that comes from. Is that your parents? Is that the community that raised you? Is that something that you kind of picked up at Stanford? Where does that very human touch come from?
I would say definitely my parents, kind of starting with them, having manners, being respectful to everybody around you. You're never bigger than anybody, so I don't see myself as greater than whoever's around me or whoever's interviewing me or doing something for me. I see us as equals. And I think also at my different institutions, Stanford, USC, same thing. When we left an arena, we cleaned up after ourselves. We said thank you to whoever helped us do something. So kind of just being respectful. We're all humans at the end of the day. But I would say with my family definitely started that with me.
Stanford was obviously an incredible experience for you,
yeah.
And then you make the shift to USC, and I talked to Lindsey about this obviously as well, but I want to hear your side of it. Why enter the portal, and then why USC, and what did you hope to get out of that experience, and then ultimately, did you get what you wanted out of it?
Yeah, it was a tough decision to leave Stanford, somewhere that I had kind of grown up into the person and player that I am today, and just leaving all my friends. I had a great thing going, so it was really hard to leave that, but I really had to reflect on what do I want in the next year. I wanted to win a national championship. I wanted to be challenged. I wanted to prepare myself for the WNBA, and I felt like going to USC would help me do that. It was also close to home, which was something that was important to me in my last season, to have all the people that helped me get there to be able to see me consistently. But I think, USC really challenged me offensively, defensively, playing with other great superstars and great guards. That's what it's going to be like in the league, and figuring out how can I make an impact, maybe if it's not all about me. So I think, I grew in a lot of aspects of my game. I grew mentally, I grew as a leader, and I think all of those things have already been translating in my 1 week that I've been with the Mystics, but it will continue to translate as rookie year is going to be hard. So going through all of that, I feel very confident because I've gone through stuff in the past.
I was also surprised, but not to learn that you graduated in Stanford 3 years too, which I'm only surprised because then it's how does someone do that? I couldn't graduate from Stanford if given all the time in the world, but that's okay. So you got all that done at Stanford, and then you go to USC, and I'd imagine also there's a learning about learning that happens because you have to learn a new system. What did you learn about how you learn, how you integrate new information as a basketball player, and then how does that help you as you get started in your WNBA career?
Yeah, I learned that I pick up things pretty fast, especially if it's visual. If you show me something visually, I'll get it immediately. Sometimes the verbal cues, it's like, wait, what does that mean?
Yeah.
But I'm a quick learner, and I'm someone that is not afraid to ask questions. So I'll ask my coach, like, what do you mean by this? What is this supposed to look like? I'd ask the returners, what does this look like? And I feel like the same thing here. Our coaches want us, as a rookie, you want to know it quickly, you want to know it fast. One take is kind of what they talk to us about. So something that I feel like USC has helped me, having to go through a whole new system in 1 year and then doing the same thing now. So I see a lot of parallels in those two situations.
Stanford, there's a lot of eyes, a lot of attention. Obviously, Cam winds up going number 2 out of that, but I'd assume being in the JuJu orbit was a whole different experience as well. What was that like to kind of be in that pressure cooker, knowing all the eyes are on, the gyms are full, there's celebrities sitting in front row, the whole deal?
That's the most exciting part. Like, you love playing out in a sold-out arena, sold-out crowd. You don't know which celebrity's going to pop up any single night. But I wouldn't say there was pressure from that. I think that's what we strive for. We want that, and that just shows where the women's game has grown and gone into. But I think for me, it's just knowing that there's a bunch of eyes on you every single day, and that's your new normal.
And then the other thing, too, is the travel schedule had to be crazy last year because the Big Ten, boy, are they putting the big in it now. But that's also, this league is a nationwide league, and you might be here on a Tuesday and playing in Seattle on a Friday. So, doing the cross-country thing, it is what it is. So did you learn about, how to prepare your body, all those kinds of things? And was there, an experimentation phase almost with that, or did you kind of have a good plan, you think, going in that helped you handle that?
I think because I had already done most of my schooling, I don't know how I would have done it.
In the interview, you guys don't know it yet, but Kiki said that I'm her favorite.
Yes, that's my fave.
She's a pretty good pick.
Anyway, no, I love Aaliyah, but I'm kind of salty because her Huskies beat me and ended my college career. So
yeah,
it's a little bit of bad blood, but not really.
Well, especially because she's out here claiming that's her championship too.
Exactly,
so
but
I could see that.
I digress.
You got the same jersey on now, so we're gonna have to eventually.
Love.
Maybe not I think you got to the rest of training camp.
Yes.
By the end of training camp, we're gonna have to put that to the side.
Yes.
But I think you're it's salties, and this is allowed for the moment.
Yes, exactly.
What were we talking about? Oh, your schooling was done. You had completed,
okay, yes, okay.
and then
so
travel
I was
and the
done
whole
with
deal.
my undergrad, so I didn't feel like the travel was as tough because I wasn't doing a lot of homework on the road. But I think the biggest thing I learned was recovery is super important. Being on the road, being in the plane for a lot of time, so being hydrated, recovery, and my school provided a lot of that. So definitely, I'll keep that up here.
Also, student athlete at some schools is let's just say skewed a little bit towards the athlete side. Stanford is not one of those schools.
At all.
What did you learn about time management as an 18, 19, and 20-year-old that you think will help you as a pro?
Yeah, it's important. Time management is important, and I think, my story just shows, if you put your mind to something, you can do it. It won't be easy, but, you can definitely do it. So I wouldn't say, you should sacrifice one. If you love, medicine, you should be able to do that and play basketball. So for me, it was just about putting my head down and understanding that I really want this engineering degree, so whatever it takes to do it, but I also really want to be the best of the best on the court. So I kind of just, sacrificed maybe not going out to every single party, maybe sleeping a little bit less, but I wanted it really badly.
You and Georgia went to dinner the night before the draft. I asked her about this as well.
I was going to say, how do you know that?
Well, one, you guys said it at the press conference.
Okay.
And two, then I asked her about it because you guys said it at the press conference. But what was that like for you? She said you guys had the mutual friend. I think Agnes was a mutual friend.
Agnes.
I remembered. So how did you guys get connected? What did you guys talk about that night? And then I want your version of kind of that moment you see each other backstage after her name has been called. And you guys realize, oh, wow, we're really going to be teammates.
Yeah. So Georgia and I have always kind of known of each other, as you do in the basketball space. And then this past summer, we both got invited to the Nike camp. So we got to know each other, and we knew we had the mutual friend. So we connected a little bit. And then during draft, after having that Nike experience, we, connected a lot more. It was like we've been friends for years. And then the night before draft, we were like, let's just go get dinner. And we just kind of talked about what are we excited for, where do we want to go, what kind of all the emotions that we're feeling around draft. And then after I got picked, I went back. I was doing a bunch of media, and they were like, what, the 6th pick? And I said, what? I was like, guys, who? And they said Georgia. I said, no way. I literally grabbed my producer and I was like, Georgia, I love Georgia. We literally just hung out. We literally made a TikTok this morning, and for us to be teammates, I was just super excited, super special. And she's a great person. Number one, has a great energy and really cares about other people. And she's a great guard on the floor, and she's always finding her big. So I'm excited to be her teammate and to play with her. But Yeah, I think, we were meant to be teammates, truly, just looking back on all of our experiences together.
Yeah, and I know Georgia and Sony have a great relationship going back a long time, too, and there's a lot of mutual respect there. So a heck of a trio that we get here in D.C. All right, last two questions. I'm going to have to save all the other ones I got for an interview later in the seasons. But two final questions that I'm asking everybody today.
Okay.
What's the story behind your jersey number?
Oh, my jersey number in high school, my coach allowed us to pick a number, and then I don't remember what number I picked, but she said, you can't have that number. And I was like, why? She's like, because you're going to wear 44. So it was actually assigned to me. And I was like, why? And she was like, well, it was my number, and I want you to take it far. So wear 44.
So
I see. Yeah,
coach.
I mean, she has great vision.
Shout her out.
Coach Melissa Hurley, and she's someone that's still in my life and someone that I love dearly, always texts me. But yeah, and I can't imagine being any number other than 44.
I love it. All right, and then last but not least, this has been the one that I've stumped people with all day. If I could just pull a piece of paper out and be like, all right, Kiki, I got a brand deal for you that you're not currently working with right now.
Okay.
Who's the brand that you want to see on that piece of paper?
This is supposed to be a hard question?
Oh, everyone's like, some people are like, I got a list, I got to pick one. You got someone. No.
Chanel, reach me. My Instagram is @Kiki Iriafen. Let's work together. Chanel.
Easy enough. Easy for Kiki. Kiki, this was so much fun. Thank you. We'll talk to you later in the season.
Thank you.